Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin found guilty on all charges in the death of George Floyd, the jury reaching its verdict after deliberating for about 10 hours over 2 days. It is so rare in this country historically that we see a police officer found guilty in the killing of a black or brown man. Many saying this could mark the beginning of real change. With us now, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker. Senator, thanks for being with us.
It's an honor to be on, and it's just good to be on this evening.
Well, let's talk about what happened this evening, the verdict. You have called for a new standard when it comes to holding police officers accountable for breaking the law. We've seen video and cases like this before. It didn't resonate, but it did this time.
It was a powerful outpouring, not just in our nation, across the world, at this injustice. And the trial held someone accountable for doing horrific things. But one trial in one case is not enough. My heart is with George Floyd's family. They don't have George Floyd. This is not justice for them. It's accountability, but not justice. I think what we should all be committed to doing is making sure these kind of things don't happen again, and to take every action we can to end this nightmare where so many unarmed people, African Americans in particular, are being killed. And so I'm committed here in Washington. I'm leading the effort in the Senate to bring about a bipartisan bill that will significantly reform policing. It doesn't mean we'll get everything done, but we can't let this moment pass without, in honor of all the families of the victims, make strides towards justice.
It had to be an emotional moment, though, for you as well, for many people of color to see some action that we have not seen before.
Yeah, I think that I just felt sad. It brought George Floyd's murder back again, and now that the law of our land, the justice system, has said what we all knew, that this was a horrific murder. I still feel pain from the fact that he's not with us and thinking about their family. So yes, there is a relief that the court system worked, and that this officer will be held accountable for his actions. But given the events of these last weeks, and I should then say months, and then I should say years, I just really hope that we in America are willing to understand that we have problems within our justice system that have to be addressed. And as long as we have, we as a people swear an oath to the flag behind me in the country that we belong, that we will be a nation of liberty and justice for all. All of us are implicated in the persistence of systems of injustice. We all have to be working towards a larger change.
Let me ask you about the role of politicians weighing in before a pivotal verdict, specifically Representative Maxine Waters calling for protesters to stay on the street and get more confrontational if Chauvin was acquitted, and even the president saying that he's praying that the jury reach the right verdict. Is it inappropriate?
You know, look, I really worry about people jumping on an African-American woman who clarified her comments, who has condemned violence, who does believe in the power of protest, who was in many ways her generation, a civil rights generation, that she really believes that as Frederick Douglass says, without struggle there will be no progress. And I often see how and I saw it in previous years, recent years, how when black women speak up and make strong statements, they're condemned in ways that others are not. And so I know Maxine Waters. I serve with her in Congress. She's a part of the Congressional Black Caucus. The focus should not be on her. The focus should be on the injustices within the system that tolerate, that allow such a high level of death and destruction of black bodies. And people. Where is our outrage about that? Why do we have a disproportionate outrage for the comments of one congressperson and not larger outrage at systems that are gobbling up the lives of so many Americans unjustly, unnecessarily?
While I have you, 30 seconds, gun control in America. We are seeing 50 some odd mass shootings now. There has to be some legislation. Where do we stand?
You know, the majority of Americans want universal background checks. The majority of Americans believe, hey, if you need a license to buy a car, you should have a license to buy a gun. And by the way, states that have done it, like Connecticut, have seen 40% drops in shootings and murders. And so this is not something that's complicated for even NRA members, the majority of whom want to see common sense background checks. But we have a stalemate here in the Senate where the old filibuster rules are preventing us from getting significant progress done that will make Americans safer. This nation was founded in a Constitution that literally in its preamble says we are forming this government for the common defense. We are forming this government for the well-being of each other, and we are failing with so many gun deaths, more in my lifetime than people who died in every single war we've been engaged in since the Revolutionary War to the current war in Afghanistan. This is unacceptable, outrageous. We are an outlier on the planet, and we must pass meaningful legislation to keep people safe.
New Jersey Senator Cory Booker joining us tonight. Good to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.